5058, and it'd be great to hear from you. And by the way, we're on Twitter as well. You can get us at BBC5 Live. Let's go back to the calls and let's speak to Mike, who's in Telford. Mike, good morning.
Morning, Ed. I'm actually in Hull, Ed.
Oh, wow.
I think the last time I called you, I was in Telford a couple of months back.
Gosh, you're all over the place. How's your weekend going so far? Are you enjoying the Platinum Jubilee weekend vibes?
Well, it's super. Like your previous caller, I could probably cover most of the subjects that we're already talking about. Can I just respond to Junior's text?
Of course, by all means, yeah.
Right. Now, for 30 and 40 years, Ed, I've drove around in various capacities in the UK, doing 1,000 miles a week on average, and I'm visiting sometimes 15 to 20 towns a day, okay? So you get to get a feel of what's going on in the country when you drive around and you're constantly doing it. I've drove today, I left Hull this morning, went to York, went to a little village called Malton, then went down to Grantham, then I went down to Epping Forest, and then I went to Barking, and then East Ham, and then I came out the other side to Maidstone, across to Winchester, and I'm just on the way, near Hull on the way back. I saw the airplanes in the sky over London, but what I noticed, and it's so stark, is every village and town I've been to, the people are happy. Walking down the road, there's bunting everywhere, and it's just lifted the nation. Now, the investment, and I'm one that's mindful of wasting money in this country, and we're now gone on our own and got to look after ourselves and sort it out. But I do think, like Boris should have done the taxing the energy companies to give the people some help rather than the energy companies down the road. This investment into the people to celebrate the Queen is a super thing to do.
Let's focus. I know there's lots of stories, obviously, before the weekend connected to energy and stuff. I just want to focus purely on this weekend. And in fact, let me read this text. I've just had this text in. It's an anonymous text, and let me read it out to you. I want to get your thoughts on this. This is the text. If you have to choose between the Queen and a surgeon, stroke doctor, who will it be? One is a monarch and the other saves lives. What your answer to that, please, Mike?
What have I got to do with them?
So if you have to choose between the Queen, a surgeon, stroke doctor, who will it be?
Yeah.
One is a monarch, the other saves lives. Who would you choose?
I think that's an unfair comparison because what the Queen does is unique. There isn't no other profession around like that, is there? So it's very difficult to compare. But I mean, I know doctors in hospitals all around the UK. It's good friends, and they'll be listening. What you're saying, see, I'd have to say that the Queen has probably given more service and if you like, had a bigger impact on this country than perhaps any surgeon has. I'd have to say that, in my opinion.
But Mike, why do you think some people, this obviously it's an anonymous text, don't know who sent that, but why do you think some people think that way?
Well, we're in a free country, Ed, and so we're allowed to think whatever we want to think. Now, people see the royal family in certain ways. Obviously, they've not had great press with regards to Andrew and other things that have gone. Harry's not exactly helped. But overall, we've watched a family there go through its trial and tribulations, but the Queen herself has always done the right thing, I feel. And she's stood there. When all politicians have fell away, she's still there, and I just have respected her all my life, really. And the reason I called was because I made her laugh.
Wow.
Shall I tell you that story?
Please, I want to find out. Please tell me.
Right, well, I've got a strange limousine company, okay? So I run people down to race courses, Ascot, on the Ladies' Day, a Thursday.
Yeah.
So it was several years back. And when I drop the customers off at the race course, I've never been inside a race course, so I go to Lake Windermere, when I'm over that way.
Okay.
And I go to sleep for a few hours in the back of the limousine, and then I go back to pick customers up. But the road from Lake Windermere to Ascot is a very narrow country lane. I mean, for the people listening, you really struggle to get two mobile motorhomes past each other.
Yeah.
That's that real tight lane. So I'm in a stretch limousine going down the country road, but we're all at a standstill because that's the way it is when you're picking people up from Ascot. So I'm noticing two motorbikes coming my way. Well, I'm familiar with the Queen's escorts. You know, I get around and I've seen her over the years. So I knew it was the Queen's escort. So the next car that's coming around the corner is trickling 3 or 4 mile an hour. It's Prince Philip with his entourage in the first car. So now I've now jumped out of the car. My uniform that I chose to wear, Ed, over the last 23 years of having a limousine business as a chauffeur, if you like, I wear a leather hat, a Union Jack shirt of some form or another, and on this particular occasion I had my Union Jack shorts and my Union Jack flip-flops.
Looking very presentable, I must say, Mike.
So I've jumped out, so I'm in a gleaming white limousine. I've jumped out and I've run to the front of my car, and all I could grab hold of was my Cambridge United number plate. Right? It's just a number plate, that's Cambridge. Now, there was a potential that the Queen may have known who I was because I had been featured in the news, on the national news.
Right, sorry, I've got to interject. Why the number plate?
Well, I'm a Cambridge United fan, and I had a made for the club years ago, and I had 2 or 3, and I've always carried one in my car, like the football club. So, I've always had one wherever I've gone in the car, so it's just promoting the club, isn't it? So, but there was a chance that the Queen would have known who I was because I was just featured recently. I've been defending Prince Charles in the national news, global it went. So I jumped out with his Cambridge United number plate, stood at the front of the car. As that car come towards me, and literally was going a mile or 2, an hour, I saw the lady in waiting point at me. She's then let the Queen know that look over there. And she's looked, and as the cars come closer, she started to look me up and down. I could see her eyes moving up and down, and she started to chuckle. She's put her hand to her mouth, and she's chuckled, and we had massive eye contact, and she just literally just cruised past me so slow. I could see her eyes. It was great, and she was just chuckling. And that's my encounter with the Queen at close hand, and I was so pleased that I did that for her,
That's incredible. I love that. And the tell to that story, it's a humorous, it's a joyous story, and I think that's what connects people with Her Majesty, because there's no question, no doubt, she loves stories and experiences like that.
I've been present at a shoot. I've been involved in a couple of things with Prince Philip when he used to do his horse and carriage racing, and so I've been to a few functions over the years, and I can say that I have respect for the Queen because she doesn't take no prisoners. I've heard her speak her mind. When she's out and about at Sandringham, she is quite free. She's just herself, doing her thing, and she's quite direct. I've heard that and I've seen that, so I know, and I respect that. She is that woman of solid confidence.
Would you say Her Majesty represents every mum or mother or grandmother in the nation, in terms of speaking her mind and just being a normal and respectful and noble person?
I think she's a decent role model as a mother. She's stood by all of her children, and whatever Andrew's done, she is standing by him. That's what mothers do, okay? I'm involved in charities, and the sons who kill people, the mums visit them, it's the way it is, So, we have to look at her as a human being. She is a mother as well as the Queen. And I think that what things have come her way over the years, she's dealt with spectacularly well. So, there's a lot for us to be happy with as a monarch that she's been. I don't think we'll ever get another one that's has got the respect that she's got. I don't think we will. It will change in the future. I don't think we'll have it as it is. But she's changed from being what would have been the old Empire, old school, and she's adapted and she's modernised. I believe I've watched it over the years. So
clearly, there's been changes, and the Queen has adapted over the years. And your story, Mike, has made me chuckle. I think that's going to stick with me for the rest of the weekend. Mike, great to hear from you. Mike there in Hull. Let's continue with the conversation and speak to Sylvie now, who is in Middlesex. Sylvie, welcome to the programme. How you doing?
Thank you, Ed. Yes, I'm all right, thank you. I was nearly going off to sleep, really, when